Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of TFT Hyperroll from Mission for Tuition. It's Mission for Tuition because we are trying to pay for our son's middle and high school tuition. He has to go to a frightfully expensive special school. No. We're not asking for donations. We're asking for your help in getting the video out there. That includes liking, commenting, watching the whole thing, subscribing. The more people it gets out to, the more money we raise for tuition, and the happier our kid will be. And with that said, let's get started. So as always, as soon as we're done with the first fight, we see what we get, which in this case was a Leona, which was a second Academy champion, and we buy out the board and wait to see what our first augment is going to be so we can decide where to go from there. And in a nice turn, the first augment went, hey look, you got a couple of Academy champions, so here's an Academy heart. Why don't you head in that direction? And I went, sure, I like the sound of that. Since I had the chance to get a 2-star Camille, I went ahead and did that just to make the strongest board possible. Whenever I have the opportunity to make a strong board so that I can win early, I'll go with it. It's possible that a Garen would have been a better choice because it would have given me the 4th Academy, but I think the Camille worked out pretty well. Chance to pick up a spatula here, I went ahead and took it. Getting the Garen, I was able to pull out the Camille and go to the 4 Academy. With the 4 Academy in place, I'm pretty confident in my early game. Leona is an exceptionally strong unit, able at holding people in place while your carries can clean them up. And given any opportunity to make Leona stronger, I will take it. So once I had a 2-star Darius, which would give me an additional bodyguard, I take it. That allows Leona again to just hold things in place while the team cleans it up. And here I was very tempted to take the loaded dice, but since I had pulled the spatula off the last shop, I realized I'd better go for an item, and one that's playing into what I'm doing. I go with the sparring glove because I have a second Graves at this point, so I use a Caitlyn in order to create the Infinity Edge, which can be put on the other Graves so I have an easy swap out if necessary. Now in reality, I haven't found Graves to be a particularly strong unit, but makes a good item holder either for Yone or for Lux, because the same items that will work on them can work on him. So this next augment was a really tough choice. The bodyguard heart was very tempting because then I could pull out Darius and I would have bodyguard with just Leona. However, I really like Pandora's items because Pandora's items allows you to really craft exactly the items you're looking for. So I end up going for that, and it's because at this moment I'm still at 20 health, Darius is working, and I want to get the perfect items onto my champions. I had also picked up an early Lux, so this gave me a chance to put at least a tier on her and get ready to possibly turn it into a blue buff or Spear of Sojin. Now in reality, I was instantly second-guessing myself as this became really clear I wasn't going to win. I realized if I had picked up the bodyguard, I could have gotten rid of Darius, put in Malzahar, and had the Arcanist buff. But I'm now living with this, and hopefully it will work out better. Since I have Pandora's items, it's time to take a little bit of a chance on something. We can use the spatula right now to create an additional Academy emblem on Lux. That will then drop off and we can put that onto Darius, bringing us up to 6 Academy. This allows us to create additional Yone items on Graves, which we can use later. After the NPC round, we've got a Hextech Gunblade on Lux and a couple of Yone items on Graves, but I'm kind of holding there. I'm not exactly sure which direction this is going, and while I have the items for a Spear of Sojin that I could put onto Lux, I'm not necessarily sold on Lux being the carry for this match. Don't know why, it's just sort of going that way in my head, but at least I'm still winning so I can continue to experiment. The goal now is just to keep riding this as long as possible. I want to get into 7 with as much gold as I can so that I can look for Yone or other champions that will help out my build. Having won here, we have the ability to roll down. We found a Yone, and it's time to go into our final augment. Runic Shield would be nice if we were stronger on Arcanists, and Tome of Traits we don't really need at this moment as we have enough Academy. So I decide to go Exile so I can pick up the shield for all my champions. It's also time to make the swap over from Graves to Yone and give Yone the best items. Unfortunately, some of them changed, so I don't have the Bloodthirster I had a few moments ago. You have to be quick with this stuff. But right now, the important thing is to get everyone separated, get that shield, and get ready for the next fight. And I immediately notice we are in a bit of trouble. A gold Ezreal and gold Singed and a very, very strong Innovator team. This is going to be trouble going forward. Right now, I realize I don't have a chance, but I'm trying to foresee a way I'm ultimately going to be able to get through it. I rolled down and was able to 2-star my Lux, and you will see how important that was in a moment and why I like Hextech on Lux so much. Their Lux has sort of the perfect deletion items, but my Lux is able to come back, heal herself, and the lowest health player on our team, keeping us alive to fight another day. But this is now where things actually get really interesting. I'm able to 2-star the Yone and I can finish off making the Bloodthirster. I'm debating with it because I don't know for sure if this is going to be the best item. Ultimately decide for it. Pick up the Kaisa, and then it's time to put out the Katarina to make the 8 Academy. So now I have the 8 Academy buff, but I'm questioning, is Darius the best choice? And think no. What if we turn Kaisa into the 8th Academy member? That will make her supremely powerful. I can give the Sunfire Cape over to Leona, that's all she needs, and now we have 8 Academy with Kaisa. Now because I had Pandora's items and didn't quite move fast enough, it swaps over to a different item and is a Banshee's Claw before I could grab it. So at this point, what to put on Kaisa? Given her magic damage, it's going to be the Rabadon's Death Cap. That'll be an excellent start since we're counting on her casting being really strong with that Academy bonus. Now I know that Banshee's Claw is going to change again after this level, and I'm just hoping it's a better item that will fit more in with Kaisa, but either way, you can see how incredibly strong she is here, just hitting so many different things and taking them out, but Yone's leading the damage chart. And with that, we are into the top 4 and can 2-star our Malzahar and then go looking for that final Kaisa, which will complete everything for us. So unfortunately our rolling didn't yield an additional Kaisa, and the item roll was not anything great. Redemption is not going to be a strong Kaisa item. And once again, I am faced with the fact that Vex is an incredibly strong champion on Yordles and can hand out a bunch of damage even while being a tank, taking me down to 1 life left. Now since I already had a Kaisa and a Malzahar, I had picked up a Mundo just in case this happened, and that was if I could find Yuumi, because then I could take out Graves, put in Mundo as an additional frontliner, and get the mutant buff. This is going to be key. Still don't have a great Kaisa item, and I have to now play Tetris since remember I'm running Exiles, so everyone needs to be separated, but I found my spots and I'm good to go with my last Kaisa. And Pandora's box finally falls into our favor, and I get the Kaisa item I've been looking for, which is the Bloodthirster. I decide to go ahead and pick up an additional Hextech Gunblade for Lux, and then go about putting the Bloodthirster onto Kaisa, and then decide to end up putting the Rapid Fire Cannon onto Leona, because why not make her attacks a little faster? Further, I'm able to roll and get myself a Cold Leona that will help this team out just that little bit extra that it needs. And our first round is against that really strong set of innovators with the Gold Ezreal and Gold Singed. Luckily, Kaisa is just absolutely deadly with those items. Even when she's low, between her and Yuumi and her healing, she's able to come back and wreck the damage charts. So then the question becomes, can Kaisa take down that Yordle team which has advanced to now have a Vigor? And the answer is, yeah, she can do a ridiculous amount of damage very, very fast. Almost so fast you don't see how quick they're deleted, but look at the damage chart. She's way up top. And we're right back against that same Yordle team, only this time with a 2-star Vigor. and Kai'Sa just slightly out of position to where she was before, as they've repositioned their Vigor, who is doing massive amounts of damage with the Rabadons and more Melicon. Enough damage to take Kai'Sa out, but not enough to get rid of Yone, who goes in and finishes it off. And with that, we are now in sudden death against that Innovator team with the incredibly strong Ezreal and Singed, and oh yeah, they've now added their own 2-star Kai'Sa into the mix with some pretty decent items that's going to keep her from getting stunned when Yuumi does her ult. The Academy buff is still incredibly strong, and that Kai'Sa that they have doesn't have the mutant buff behind it, which is going to make my Kai'Sa just more and more powerful as the match goes on. And you can see again, she deletes them almost instantly and leads the damage charts all the way to victory. And just like that, it's GG to everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you get a chance to put an Academy emblem on Kai'Sa, go for it. And have an absolutely awesome day.